It seems like nowadays you don't really need to do much to become popular or a main topic in 2026, especially if you're female. Now, before we start, I am not a sexist or anything like that. Now, before we begin, I am not someone who hates on women, but I'm just talking about the actions that some of them take to get to popularity. More specifically, taking actions that involve extreme degeneracy to get that kind of attention. For example, the most popular one would probably for example, the most popular one would probably be Bonnie Blue, who claimed to have slept with 1,000 men in like a week or a night. And, that sort of made headlines. I remember how viral that sensation was and how much people were talking about that. And at the time, it was a very niche or a very new concept, right? Just outlandishly saying that you're going to sleep with 1,000 men in like one day. Obviously, people were going to click on that. But now it seems like it's a trend for a lot of, you know, I guess, attempts to get that kind of, popularity again. You just have a lot of more disgusting, degenerate sayings. And I think the newest one would be Jaden Newman and her dad literally and her brother. Don't forget the brother. The brother is also very popular. All three of them are very popular, actually. So maybe it has worked out. But recently, the sister had a leak, let's say, and it's gone pretty viral all over the internet. But now, the way that they have handled this as a family after the fact of the leak is sort of insane, right? You have the dad literally exclaiming, like, this is a business opportunity, and he was just like, he even admitted that he watched the video. The father admitted he watched his daughter's leaked video. And her brother was also saying, yeah, you should have started the OnlyFans. Like, as a family, what are you doing? That is literally cooked. I had to, like, that is literally a societal decline because people are giving them attention for this. This is getting attention. This is news. And it's just unreal. I don't even think shame is a part of the equation anymore. It's not shame, it's attention. And it's worth money, which is why people do it. Because otherwise, this would have set you back generations as a family. But this is setting them up for more attention than they'll ever receive because Jaden Newman and Julian Newman are not going to the NBAs or the WNBAs. So they're pivoting. Okay, they're pivoting. So I will say that there has been a new resurgence in this kind of content and this idea of funneling, viewers and getting this sort of traction. It's a very different kind of content, and I think it is very detrimental to society in the way that people react. I think that a lot of people need to sort of wake up and understand that all of it is just to piss you off on purpose. It is actual rage bait that is engineered for you to get mad and pass that algorithm to the next person who will actually be the target audience for these kind of, insane clips. And I hope people understand that because it's all part of it. It's all engineered. It's exactly what they're looking for. It's exactly what they want. So make sure you understand that, if you ever been that down bad to buy an OnlyFans subscription, seek help immediately. But that is my thoughts on the situation. Peace. But I just think somewhere along the way, there has just been this extreme internet culture that has sort of created a section of, female content creators, not just female either, but that have this expression to be free. And don't get me wrong, you can express yourself however you want online, but it comes to a point where there needs to be lines that are drawn, right? Because there's some that take your self-respect, their own dignity, and personal boundaries that shouldn't be shared online, and they turn it into like cheap viral clickbait so that they can get, funneled to their OnlyFans. And I think that it's extreme because a lot of them are just stunts that they're sort of trying to, manufacture some rage bait and hypersexualization of, their content in everyday life so that they can attract a certain audience to their OnlyFans, hopefully get some more money off of that. But it's a whole tier of content creators who are basically trading all the long-term reputation that they would ever have for this short-term 30 seconds of algorithmic, fame. And, as far as, and, as And as quick and as high you may go up that peak, you are going to crash down even harder, right? You look at some people like Bonnie Blue. Right now, someone who's at the peak of that, sort of trend I was talking about is Jaden Newman and her league. But it's not even just about. It's just not even about the adult content at the point. It's sort of how the internet has sort of created an environment where crossing every moral, social, and personal line is disguised as, a hustle, and you get rewarded with a million views, which is sort of our fault or society's fault because people are sort of giving that attention, which is leading to people to do these sort of things. So now I think people are starting to realize that it's better to trade away your morals and your long-term reputation to quickly, make a quick buck. And it's a crazy business model because a lot of them rely on just giving that shock factor of how can I make this headline even more crazier than the last one, right? Sleeping with 50 men in one day. Okay, let me do 200 men in one day. All right, that's not enough. Let me sleep with 500 men in one day. Pause. Let me sleep with 1,000 men in one day. Bigger pause. You know what I mean? And it just keeps going up and up. The stakes are getting higher and higher. And it's like, when will it stop? We don't know, right? It just keeps getting worse and worse. And realistically, every sort of social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, has just become the top of the funnel for marketing for the subscriptions of OnlyFans or whatever they do. And it's all up to the creator to intentionally just push that boundary so that they can get more eyes at the top of the funnel, which allows it to trickle down to the real money maker, which is, the subscriptions. So it's sort of insane. And the worst example is with the Jaden Newman situation. Her and her brother, there was a clip of his brother literally telling her sister to start the OnlyFans. All right, just make the money, start the OnlyFans. And I couldn't believe it. Like, how is that even a real clip? How is that something you just let outside, knowing that you just told your sister to start selling her coochie on the internet for $5 a month? How do you live with yourself doing that? And it keeps getting worse because the dad also said that he saw the leaks in front of her. The families could nuke the whole family, bro. At this point, nuke the whole family, because what are they doing? I don't even know what they're teaching her. I don't even know if they have a social media. This is like the worst family of all time, and it's sort of scary. But yeah, I can't even believe this kind of stuff.